What's going on, guys, and welcome back to EmKay. Today we are getting nosy and looking at posts from r/confessions. My 16-year-old son won't stop talking about jester maxing, and it's starting to scare me. I really don't know what to do here. My son is 16 and he's always been the funny one in the family, cracking jokes, doing impressions to make us laugh. But lately it's like that's all he does and it's getting out of hand. A few months ago, he started saying jester maxing constantly. Before school, he'll go, time to jester max today. But when he's on his phone, he'll laugh and say, that was peak jester maxing right there. He's got his little catchphrase. I figured it was some stupid meme at first, but he literally uses it for everything now. He'll come home from being with friends and tell me, Mom, I jester maxed so hard at lunch, everyone was losing it. And then he practices these over-the-top faces and dances in front of the mirror while saying stuff like, gotta keep the jester max energy up. It's weird. I asked him straight up what it means because it sounded off. He got kind of mad and said it's about being entertaining so people will actually notice you, and quote, serious dudes just get ignored but jesters get the clout. He showed me some videos of this guy dancing like a maniac in a club and people in the comments calling it jester maxing god tier. It honestly looked humiliating. Now he's doing it at home non-stop. He'll just interrupt us at dinner with some loud random joke or impression, then stare at everyone waiting for a huge reaction. And if we don't laugh enough, he gets quiet and says, y'all don't get the jester max. It walks off. Family time is exhausting because it's like he's performing all the time instead of just talking normally. My God. Starting to worry that this is connected to some bad online stuff. I looked it up a little and it seems related to these looks maxing groups where guys fixate on their appearance and social rank. But this version is just about acting like a clown for attention. He used to talk about girls like a normal teenager, but now he says things like, Floyd's only respect you if you jester max correctly, which I had to search and it made me feel sick. Has anyone dealt with their teen getting really into this kind of thing? Is it just a dumb phase he'll grow out of? Or should I be more worried that he's falling into some toxic corner of the internet? He's still a good kid at heart, but I hate seeing him put so much effort into being the joke instead of himself. It feels like if people ever stop laughing, he'll be crushed. Any advice would help a lot. I'm lost here. Well, you know, I'm no expert, but if I had to take a guess here, I would say that your son needs to dial back the jester maxing before he gets joke mogged by a professional goofy guy and he's gonna, you know, suffer a heart attack. I think that might he's gonna get joke mogged, and you don't want to see what happens. My husband has affairs. I don't care. I want the women to let me be. I mean, is it that hard to do? Did he go through so much effort like it's some bad movie drama where they hunt me down and give me this awful confession and I just have to nod and walk off? My husband's older than me, not by much, only 6 years. He's 32 and I'm 26. We met when I was 22. Look, I didn't marry him because I ever thought he was the love of my life. He was hot and f***ing rich. That cha-ching! All right, cash it in, I don't care. And decent. That's all I cared about. It's enough for me. And I know he married me because I was pretty and young and charismatic and just what any man wants in a wife. So that's fine. I live a really well-off life and he gets the wife he wanted. Everyone's happy. I feel like this is one of those things. So confessions as a subreddit always concerns me because you never know what they're gonna be. This is something where it's like, this just feels like a deal that works out for everyone. But if you were both like, I don't know, this feels like you just need to talk and be like, all right, you want to be open? I don't care. Sure. Instead of it being something where you're putting all this, they're having external pressure because they don't realize you know. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to begin digesting that. He has affairs because he's into some really kinky shit and I just won't do it. Okay, so you already... We fuck like every 2 weeks. It's good, I like it. He does as well. It's vanilla and it's fun. I noticed when I caught him the first time, not that he knew, that he does all of his fucked up kinky shit with these other women. Well, if he wants to degrade them and they want to be degraded for their month of bliss, I just couldn't care less. Not my problem. He doesn't think I know. I don't keep tabs, but I figured out he has them for a month, then dumps them and gets a new one maybe a few weeks later. Rich and hot means no short supply. This is weird. I mean, not weird in the sense of like, oh, they shouldn't be doing this, but like, I feel like I'm being given a glimpse into like how someone at an elite status lives, and I'm like, this is, hey, I mean, you do you, man, but that's too much. This feels overindulgent. He's never gonna leave me. Husbands never do. He likes the life we have too much, but I wish they'd leave me alone. Getting an email, an Instagram DM, they put so much effort into it and I just couldn't give a shit. Half of them know he's married and it's when they get dumped they get pissy and reach out to me. Hasn't anyone ever told you? Damn. He's not going to marry the woman who lets him do this stuff. Damn. This is crazy. I'm really irritated now because yesterday one of them cornered me while I was walking our dog, like an in-person confrontation, as if this is a bad movie. Mind you, she knew he was married. Ugh. Anyway, needed to vent. Probably gonna book myself a holiday. That's all. This is a crazy story. Can I see what some of the other people who read this had to say? According to the comments, she made him put an infidelity clause into their like marriage prenup. So if he does up and leave her, she's sorted. This is, I don't know. There's something so like just plainly transactional in this story that it's like, I don't feel like a lot of confessions are like, this is something bad that happened. This one's just like, yeah, I get it. He likes to, you know, do his thing. I don't care. Just leave me alone. This feels refreshing in a way. This also feels like a creative writing prompt a little bit. This is someone who had a really good idea for a story and was like, I know exactly where I'll put it. Because there's too many things that are like, wow, it all just lines up like that? Damn, how'd it work out? That's some crazy plot armor. I have terminal cancer and I'm not telling my family. I feel like just reading that title, I should probably warn anyone who is listening in, this doesn't sound like it's gonna be a happy story. So trigger warning if you're sensitive to disease discussion. The title says it all. I'm a suburban housewife. The past few years, I've gotten tired of the way my family is treating me. I have young adult sons. The older is finishing college and has a serious girlfriend. He barely has time for me because he prioritizes everything else. I've spent my adult life raising this child, providing for him and making sure he had many opportunities. He's polite to others, but not to me. His dad defends his behavior and says I'm too sensitive because I expect him to have a conversation with me at least once when he comes home. So I don't want to interject too much, but this is already really sad. This sucks, man. When he does come home, he only wants to spend time with his girlfriend. He talks to my husband about their mutual interests, but either starts talking to someone else when I chime in, or tells me he has to go do something and never comes back. On the occasion that he does this to my husband, he gets annoyed. When he does it to me, it's justified because I talk about things that no one cares to hear. After being reprimanded by my husband about wanting to join the conversation, and how no one was interested in hearing about what I wanted to talk about, I found out that I have cancer today. It's stage 4. There's very little that they can do. I'm so mentally beaten down that I don't want to tell them. They don't realize that I don't really have friends anymore due to being the primary caretaker to my other son who has a disability. At least I know that he loves me. I'm heartbroken that I won't be here to take care of him. That part makes me cry when I'm alone. So does the other part, but I don't want attention now that's just to keep them from feeling guilty. Sadly, I don't even think it would be long lasting. Thanks for letting me vent. My heart is broken, but not much more than it's been for the past few years. And just to clarify, I've not been abusive or neglectful. I've not been a martyr. I've expressed sadness at the way they've treated me, but they constantly say I'm being ridiculous. I know in my heart that this is true. This is such a rough story because you hate to see someone be dealt such a shitty hand, you know? And by all accounts from this story, that is a shitty hand. At that point, you just gotta do things for yourself or try to make happy memories for the other son, you know? Like, you don't have to tell anyone, you don't need to disclose your illness, but I think you have the one kid that you do really, really love and care about and know that they love you as well. So I would imagine just making good memories while you still can with them would be the priority, right? And do things for you, you know? You spend so much time sacrificing so much of yourself to build a home and to let your, kids get off on as good of a foot as they can. You, at the very least, you deserve to be able to take time for yourself. This is such a crazy story. I work as a data analyst for a massive tech company, and I think the dead internet theory might actually be real. Throwaway for obvious reasons. I've been a data analyst at one of the largest data infrastructure firms in the world for about 7 years now. Most of my day is just numbers, pipelines, dashboards, and all the boring backend stuff that keeps the internet functioning. It used to feel meaningful in a weirdly satisfying way, until around 2 years ago when I started noticing things that didn't add up. It began with a simple audit for a retail client. The data looked fine until I realized that roughly 87% of their active users weren't traceable to any known or consistent activity history. New devices, IPs that didn't match known regions, even fake GPS trails. It wasn't bot traffic, at least not in the traditional sense. These were fabricated identities, whole clusters of them. It was like they were generated just to exist. At first, I assumed it was some glitch with an API sync or metadata corruption, but the deeper I dug, the weirder it got. The user patterns weren't random, they were rhythmic. Behavior that looked human at first glance but followed time loops so precise they could only have been synthetic. Clicking the same pages at the exact same second every single day, pausing for identical intervals. I literally graphed it out, and it looked like music on a staff. I ran sentiment analysis on conversational data too, just to reassure myself. But the more I looked, the more everything online felt off. The comments, the tweets, the search results, all had the same tone. This strange generic neutrality. No real emotion, no true disagreement, just empty, polite noise. Someone in the office one day joked about the dead internet theory, about how a majority of online people are now just fake. Content generators talking to other content generators to keep engagement metrics alive. I laughed along, but later I couldn't stop thinking about it, so I tested it. I cross-checked anonymous data streams using internal tools I probably shouldn't have had access to. I wanted to see how many truly unique human communication signatures were still showing up across our indexed data. The number was ridiculously low, like 12%. 12% of all global traffic showing the entropy patterns of a real person. The rest was echo noise. I'm gonna briefly interject into this story to say this sounds like the dopest setup for like a r/no sleep story. I know this is a confession story, but I'm locked in. I'm hooked in, right? The way this is written, I'm so like, I'm enthralled. When I flagged the results as a pattern anomaly in a report, it got closed almost instantly. The next morning, my access history had been wiped clean like it never happened. Even my local backups were corrupted. I honestly believe I'm gonna get fired or pushed out of this company, but touch wood, nothing has happened yet. Ever since then, every time I scroll social media or read comment threads, I get this uneasy feeling that I'm surrounded by bots. Words designed to look alive, posted by systems that learned how to sound human, or by people who gave up caring enough to notice the difference. Sometimes I wonder if the internet really did die and we're all just screaming into the void. I've seen the data, and it makes me feel alone. Dude, this is such a crazy, okay, the way this is set up of like, all my data was wiped, the company, I'm uncovering too much, I've gone a step too far, and now like they know, like this is such a crazy, oh, that would be such an awesome horror story. This is so awesome. I've known how I'll die since I was 16. I'm currently 30 years old. However, I've known exactly how I will die since I was 16 years old. I was born with a genetical defect known as NF2, neurofibromatosis type 2, which causes the growth of non-cancerous tumors along the nerves in my head, neck, and spinal cord. When I was 11, I had surgery to remove one on the left side of my head, which resulted in hearing loss in the left ear. And then the same thing happened the next year in the right ear at 12. When I was 16, I watched the Terry Pratchett documentary Choosing to Die, and while watching it, I came to the conclusion that this is how I'll die. And when I reached the point that the tumors on my ocular nerves can no longer be removed or stalled with surgery or radiotherapy or medication, I will fly to Dignitas and go the assisted suicide route. In the past 1 year alone, I've already been made wheelchair bound due to a tumor on my back, making me unable to move my legs. Oh my god, this is horrifying. This is haunting. So now I pretty much rely on my parents for help changing, drying after the shower, into and out of bed, and now my eyesight is slowly becoming blurrier. Why have I not followed through with it? I want as much time as possible with my parents. I don't want them reduced to caring for me when they should be retired and traveling, enjoying their golden years after working all their lives. I want to collect as many One Piece physical volumes as possible and pass them along to my nephew when he's old enough, so he can start the journey that I might not live to see the end of. I don't want to leave my dog wondering where I went to, but I also don't want to go through the grief of losing a dog again, and truthfully, I'm scared. Thank you for your time reading this. Dude, this is so haunting to read, especially learning like in the past year where they're like tumors are growing on their back and just like the illness consuming. That's so, wow. I don't know, man. Again, like there's a lot of heavy stuff in this subreddit, but like firsthand accounts of illness like really destroying one's body, that really racks me, man. That just affects me. Roommate sees me naked all the time. I like being naked at home. I'm not naked all the time, maybe like 50% of the time. When I go to common areas, I usually put on a t-shirt or something, just one item of clothing. At times when I'm especially lazy, I just walk around naked. My roommate, who's male, is pretty chill with it and is used to seeing me partly or fully naked. Sometimes his girlfriend comes over. At that time, I am fully clothed. I always am when there are guests over, but I really don't think she knows about the situation. It feels weird to ask my roommate. I mean, this is weird and you know it's weird, right? This is, you can't like feign ignorance with this kind of thing. Like this feels like you're pushing the boundary with your roommate and you know that like, the fact you won't, I don't know. This feels icky. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're fucking doing, dude. Like, I feel like this is a clear thing where you're attracted to him and it seems to me like you want to be told like, oh no, good for you, man. Like, yeah, no, this is fine. Why would you be weird about it? Like, I get it. Sometimes you want to just free ball it, let it hang. I'm with you on that. But when you have roommates, you do that in the common, you don't do that in the common areas. It's like, there's like some decency and decorum that need to be followed. This is one of those things where, and just so we're clear, if your roommate's girlfriend knew, we're making a Waffle House brawl. You know what I mean? Again, this is one of those things where I just hope it's like a creative writing prompt because this is so ridiculous. It's so stupid. I don't love my 8-year-old son. I regret having a child. When I first had my son, I was 20 and didn't expect a pregnancy. I thought it would be amazing, and I was excited to be a mother and raise my son. I thought having kids was sunshine and rainbows, and never expected my own child would physically abuse me. Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. Okay. This is gonna be a heavy confession story, all right? My relationship ended, but we do co-parent, and my husband also has a role in his life. It started from a young age. Biting, hair pulling, grabbing. That felt normal at his age, but it never stopped. He's thrown a hairbrush at my face, hit my face and back of my head with his iPad, bit me hard, yanked my hair. Sometimes I'll just be sitting and relaxing and he comes over just to kick me and try and strangle me. I'm so fed up. I don't know what caused his aggression. I've never laid a hand on him and neither has his father. We try not to yell. We've been to multiple therapists and do everything and so much research. The father told me he has none of these behaviors and is an angel with him, and he's never gotten into trouble at school or his friend's house. He only behaves like this to me and I have no idea why. I didn't do anything to him. I dread coming home from work. I dread having to spend time with him. The worst part is, I can't tell anyone because they'll say he's just a kid, it's not his fault. Or make me seem like a horrible person. It's like I'm not a person and I just have to take it. I feel miserable and horribly depressed. I'm scared for the future. What if he gets older and can overpower me? He once poked my eye so hard it was swollen for days and red. He's yanked my eyelashes. God damn! I'm scared of him. I've tried to love him, but I can't. I know I sound awful for saying that, but I just can't take it. I want to abandon him sometimes. When I prepare food, he throws it at me or on the floor. He's peed on my bed and my clothes on purpose, destroyed my things, dropped my phone in the toilet and tried flushing. I've tried grounding. I've done everything professionals have suggested and he just won't stop. I'm stuck with this forever. I can't escape this hell. My marriage is suffering because my son causes me so much mental distress and I don't feel safe in my own home. I hate my son. Now, I have no idea how to even begin broaching this story, but I do think this is one of those things where it might be, I don't know. I know it's like a hard thing to do, but I feel like it's for your own benefit and maybe the kid's benefit if you like give up. I would just be like, Dad, I can't do it. Like this kid hates me. But there was a comment that I want wanted to read that reads, I shared this with my wife, expert with kids. On review, she said it could be a number of things, but he needs a child therapist and psychologist for sure. Your son may be undiagnosed with a disorder, and his different behavior around others could be him masking, and during this period, he could be going through internal torment, shaking the bottle. And if you're a safe person, the mask comes off and the bottle explodes. It could be learned behavior, and in this case, there may be three sides to the story. Moms, dads, boys, in which respect is seen with boys and dads, but not with moms and boys. Was your ex-husband abusive to you? Does he have a partner he could be abusive to? Kids who witness their father abuse their mother or vice versa can exhibit abusive behavior to the partner or victim's gender in general. Good luck. One thing for sure is that you don't want him to be in the same house if this behavior worsens or remains the same once he becomes a teenager. It's such a scary situation, and there's no way to there's no one set in stone way to approach it, you know? It's so delicate and fragile, and you hate to see that kind of shit, man. I just don't know if I was in OP's shoes that I would have the internal strength to keep trying. I feel like I would give up my parental rights. I fucking hate showering with my girlfriend. My girlfriend has been clingy recently. She follows me around the apartment and doesn't really give me any space. I just want some alone time, and every time I go to shower, she wants to shower with me. We've been dating a year, and at first it was sexy, but she does it just to spend time with me. But we spend all our time together, and in the shower we have to keep moving to get the water on us, and it's so annoying. I found myself purposely jumping in the shower as soon as possible if I find out she's coming home a bit late from work, and giving her the excuse that I'm shaving so she can't be in with me. Does anyone else have this problem? And yes, I do expect a bunch of people hating on me and just being happy that she likes me at all, yada yada yada. Now this could be a novel concept, okay? I feel like you're in a relationship with this girl, and it's been there, you've been together for a year. You could try having a conversation about it. I think, I'm not trying to give you any radical ideas. This seems like, I don't know. Obviously, we only have one side of the story here, but this could be something where it's like she's reacting to maybe feeling a sense of oh, what if he's pulling away? What am I doing to lose him? And then so she's reacting to that, and then he's reacting to her getting really clingy and is like, oh my God, I just want some me time. It just feels like they're not talking about it, and so they're just reacting to each other. It's like being on two boats sailing by each other, and you're like, oh, you f***ed with my boat current. I'm gonna come back. You know what I mean? This feels like a communication thing. And you can't be and just so we're clear, with communication, you can't just, you don't be accusatory, right? You can't be like, oh, you're too clingy. You're too clingy, and I hate when you go in the shower with me. Leave me alone. You know what I mean? That's not productive. This is, I would imagine, gonna be a difficult conversation because there is a critique there, and she's already feeling maybe a little sensitive because of how close she's trying to get, and maybe feeling like you're pulling away. So you would bring this into, instead of being a you statement, make it an I statement, where you're like, I love, how close you want to be with me, and I love spending time with you, but I also need alone time or time to decompress. And for me, that would be in the shower, or that would be this amount of time. You know what I mean? It's just setting a boundary in the relationship. And if she loves you, then that should be something that can be respected. And it's such an easy thing to do. Communication obviously cannot be the easiest thing, especially when you don't know how to do it, but there's definitely I statements, reassurance that you're like, I'm not, this is, I love spending time with you, but I need my alone time as well, and it's not going to be we had the talk and it's fine. There might be times where you need to reassure them. That's just part of the thing. And being in a relationship, part of the whole thing is you open yourself up to be vulnerable, and you have those kinds of conversations. So I hope that works out. My mother-in-law is currently giving me the silent treatment because I won't share a family recipe that is actually just expensive takeout. I'll die if I don't share this. 3 years ago, I was supposed to cook for my wife's birthday, and I completely torched the main dish. In a total panic, I drove to this Italian deli, oh my God, 2 towns over, bought 2 massive trays of lasagna, scraped the cheese on top so it looked messy/homemade, and hid the foil containers in the outside trash. It was a hit. They wouldn't shut up about it. Best thing they ever ate. Now I'm the lasagna guy. Every birthday, every holiday, I have to drive 40 minutes, smuggle this stuff into the house in a gym gym bag and transfer it to my own Pyrex dish while my wife is in the shower. The issue is my mother-in-law asked for the recipe last week for her church potluck. I didn't know what to do, so I told her I promised my late grandmother on her deathbed that I wouldn't write it down. She called me selfish and is actually pissed off at me. I feel like a total fraud because I can't tell her the secret ingredient is $80 and a guy named Sal. Again, this feels like something where you should have had the conversation with your wife the birthday of and been like, hey, I'm glad everyone had a good time. Honey, I'm so sorry. I completely fucked the main dish and I panicked and I went out to get lasagna and I'm so sorry that I didn't tell you right away. I wanted you to have a good birthday. And then you guys could have laughed it off. But now you're in deep. Now you gotta figure out this. You gotta navigate your way out of this. My girlfriend slapped my mom. Last week, my girlfriend and my mom got into an argument. It started over something stupid. Something about my mom making a comment about how girls these days don't know how to run a home, and my girlfriend took it personally. Words were exchanged, voices got louder. I tried to calm things down, but I froze. Then suddenly, my girlfriend slapped my mom. Everyone went silent. My mom didn't even yell. She just looked shocked and walked into her room, and I stood there doing nothing. Afterwards, my girlfriend cried and said she lost control. She said my mom has always been passive aggressive and that this was, quote, years of frustration coming out. I don't like how immediately she is like passing. I don't know how I feel about that. She begged me not to leave her. My mom hasn't talked to me properly since. She says she's fine, but I know she's hurt. Not just by the slap, but by the fact that I didn't defend her. So what I'm noticing here is, so it started with the mom making a comment about how girls these days don't know how to run a home, and OP's girlfriend takes it personally. I think that was the moment where you should have been like, hey, whoa, what the hell are we talking about? Why, what do you mean? Like, this feels incendiary. You could have asked your mom to stop or change the topic. You could have left the house with your girlfriend. Like, there's something you could have done, but it's hard to get the full picture here. And then also with the girlfriend being like, your mom's always been passive aggressive and this was years of frustration. Like, has this been something that's been expressed before? Or we're given such a small slice of the pie here. And I feel like all parties can be held accountable. I think the slap is a step too far at all. Like, I don't ever agree with things stepping into a physical realm ever. I think that's always a step too far and you have to cross multiple lines to get to, a physical strike. But I don't know. This is one of those things where I wish there was more context. If we had more info, I could make a more concise judgment, but right now it feels like OP's at a crossroads and it just depends on the circumstance, the surrounding like circumstances of what he should do.